Hello everyone, at NSA Central Florida, Shawn Rhodes, your 2019-2020 president of our lovely chapter, and I am so excited today to be sharing with you a little bit about what we have coming up in the March meeting and then in the coming month in April with our Accelerate program. So if you don't know already, we are very blessed, excited, and honored to have Simon Bailey joining us at NSA Central Florida. Now, you may not have never heard Simon's name, which means you probably haven't been involved in the speaking community very long, because he is extremely well known. Why I originally met him was because I saw that he was in the $1 Million Speakers Club. Now, if you've ever been to an NSA conference, these are the folks that have the little green tags, and if you've heard me share this from the stage, Simon's one of the people that I will reach out to, grab his hand, and shake it, and I will not let go until I learn something useful to grow my business. And Simon is chock full of those kinds of ideas. Very uniquely, in the $1 Million Speakers Group, Simon makes his revenue almost entirely from keynotes. Which is really weird because most of the people in the $1 Million group, if you don't know, have multiple business revenue streams coming in. They coach, consult, they license their IP, and they speak. Well, Simon almost entirely just speaks, which is extremely cool because if you have something to learn from how to drive higher revenues inside of your own speaking engagements, Simon is the person to share it with you. He's going to be teaching us exactly what to say, how to say it in order to get those gigs, in order to get the bookings. He's going to give us strategies that are going to help us actually avoid the pitfalls that it took him decades and decades to learn. And if you haven't been able to catch on to this yet, the reason that we bring in these speakers that have decades of experience under them is to share those insights with us at NSA Central Florida. Because there's a learning curve in any business model, and if a speaker can come to us, even if you don't learn anything about how to present better from the stage, which I know you'll learn during Simon's presentation, but if all you learn is, hey, don't do this because I tried that 10 years ago and I lost a lot of money doing it, that is worth the price of admission times 10. And so I'm really excited to be learning those types of things from Simon as well. And finally, because Simon's been in the game a while, he's going to teach us some step-by-step tactics in order to grow our speaking career to the next level. Because he wasn't always a $1 Million speaker. He started exactly where you are, wherever it is that you are. He was there at some point during his progression. Now he's reached into the $1 Million range with just his keynotes. I'm so excited to learn from Simon about what I can do, plan now, in other words, to reach that level in the future. Even if I might take me a couple of decades like it's taken Simon in his business, that's okay, because you got to start planting the seeds today. So that's what's going to be happening at our meeting in March. Now, what's coming up in April? Well, that I'm really excited to share with you. If you don't know already, we are pooling together some of the most successful speakers in the Central Florida chapter in order to host what we're calling the Accelerate program. What is the Accelerate program? Well, on April 25th and 26th, which is a whole weekend-long session at the Sheraton in Brandon, Florida, which is where we have our monthly meetings. We're going to be pulling those speakers in for 3 sessions on Saturday, 3 sessions on Sunday, in order to help you accelerate your speaking business to the next level. This is not a rah-rah session, because I chose these speakers. I handpicked them because I wanted to hear from people that weren't successful 20 years ago, and now we're trying to share with speakers what worked back then. I want to hear from people that are out there crushing it from the stage every single week, and those are the speakers that we're bringing together. So when they share their insights, tactics, and advice to you, it's not going to be what worked a while back. It's going to be what works today in order to accelerate your speaking business to the next level. So you pair that kind of content with what Simon has going on, pair that with the mid-session webinars that our very own John Watkins is now hosting and running for us, you get so much value out of NSA Central Florida. It's almost hard to quantify that with just the dollars that you pay to be in the meeting. So if you haven't registered for March's meeting, go do that right now. Simon Bailey's going to be with us. If you haven't registered for Accelerate, the reason you need to do that now is because after our March meeting, the price goes up. So even if you can't make the in-person session on April 25th and 26th, everybody that registers gets access to recordings from the entire event. And in addition to just having those speakers for the weekend, they have also agreed to do one-on-one sessions via webinar, where just Delatoro McNeil will be on that webinar for an hour answering the questions of the attendees at that event. If you don't think that's worth the price of admission to hear from a Delatoro McNeil or a Hall of Fame speaker like Steven Shapiro, well, we need to have a conversation about value, because there's so much value stacked into what you're going to get with both Simon's meeting and the Accelerate program and the webinars with every single speaker afterwards over the course of the next year. It's going to be more than, I think, 24 hours of total content for Accelerate. You're going to get 3 or 4 hours from Simon's meeting. Wow, if you're a professional speaker and you're not involved with NSA Central Florida, if you're not attending our meetings, I have to ask, are you really dedicated to growing your speaking business? It's where the best speakers in Central Florida come. That should tell you something. So, Shawn Rhodes here, president of NSA Central Florida for the 2019-2020 year. I really look forward to seeing you for our March meeting, and then you get to hear from me and 5 other great speakers during the Accelerate program, April 25th and 26th. Register for both today. I'll see you in March and then again in April, where we get to help you accelerate your speaking business.